Hi, this is Michael Kester, economist with Impact DataSource. This is a brief video, kind of a how-to video with some tips and tricks on how to use our online TEA map that can be found at the address that you see on the screen. It's early May 2015. We created this video now because we just updated our map to be reflective of the recently finalized calendar year 14 data, and which is the data that the majority of the states are now using as well. Or the ones that aren't, they're in the process of getting that updated, likely within the next month or so. So this, as of now, is the relevant data that you should likely be looking at for your sites. The calendar year 14 threshold is 9.3%. So let's take a look at the map. So this is kind of how the map will be presented to you. There's a legend on the left side. The map has different layers on it, so this will tell you what layer or layers are being shown. Right now we're only looking at state level data. Clear areas based on the legend are below the threshold we need of 9.3%, while orange areas would be above it. No states, contiguous states, currently qualify, so that's why we're not seeing any orange areas on the map right now. Below, just a little bit about us, Impact DataSource, and below that, some information on the map. Again, map is only for informational purposes. Use it as a guide to help kind of point you in the right direction for potential TEA areas. But while our map does have the data in our map is reflective of what the majority of the states are using, but states can differ on their methodologies and certain things and what they allow. So make sure you do your proper due diligence for a site, and as always, let us know if you have any site specific questions or any general TEA questions that we can help you out with. So that's kind of the left legend and the about. On the main map, you can see there's the scrolling buttons here, and as you scroll in, you'll see how the legend over here will update. We got in far enough that we're starting to look at the MSAs. I want to focus on kind of the Florida area for this one. We'll do an example in Florida, so we'll go over here and focus on that. So as I keep scrolling in, here the MSA pops up, and then I scroll enough where the MSA and the county pops up. So we're finally getting some orange areas here. So if I click on this guy here, Hendry County, Florida, as we can see, nice pop-up pops up that has some good information. We're at the county level here, tell you which county, the labor force, employment, unemployment rate, and then also an MSA kind of marker to tell you if it's outside of an MSA, or if it's within one, it'll tell you what MSA it's in. We're not going to get talk too much about rural TEAs, but one of the two qualifications you have to hit to be a rural TEA is you have to be outside of an MSA. So our map can be used to kind of get you partway there on the rural side. You can see some of our future videos will cover more on rural TEAs. But as we keep scrolling in, the majority of TEAs are determined at the census tract level. So the closer we get in, we finally get to the census tract layer, and as you can see, that's why we start seeing lots of little orange dots around, because you get in close enough and there's lots of census tracts that qualify. So the census tract pop-up has more information than the other ones, besides telling you the tract it's in the county and the labor force information. It also will tell you the MSA. The one I'm here is in the Daytona, also the state rate, MSA rate, and county rate. So that's kind of how the map works from a usability standpoint, but let's do a specific example and just kind of see what pops up. So for this example, let's say we have an actual address of 900 East Osborne, Tampa, Florida. You can type it into the address bar up here, and it will take us, zoom in to that exact address, and we found an exact match here, which is nice. Unfortunately, according to our legend, this is clear, so the census tract it looks like we're in, census tract 21, does not qualify on its own. The unemployment rate is only 7.4%. But we can use our bars to the scroll bar to scroll out and see maybe if we can find some other unemployment tracts that we might be able to combine with to make a reasonable TEA. And as we look at this, we see that, yeah, we definitely can. This area of Hillsborough County in Tampa has a lot of high unemployment tracts. there's enough here that we can definitely construct a reasonable TEA that, based on the state of Florida, how they do things, would likely certify, and most other states would as well. But again, make sure you do your own due diligence on the site. So based on the map, it looks like this one is a strong candidate to get a TEA letter from the state. But let's go back and just assume that we did not have an exact address. A lot of EB-5 projects are new developments. Let's just assume that we only had an intersection. So we knew the intersections at East Osborne and Nebraska Avenue. You can also punch that into the search bar, and it takes a little longer to find, but usually it'll find a match for you. So you can see it took us to the exact same spot on the map, and but we didn't have the exact address. All we knew was the intersection. Another thing to think about with the map is that a lot of times the site will be close. I'm going to punch in the exact address here. Again, this site's pretty close to a census tract boundary. The mapping software, it's not always 1,000% accurate as you get in close. So it's good to kind of double check and verify that we're in the right census tract. We think census tract 21 is correct, but we can use the fact finder tool to go out and check that. So if you go to factfinder.census.gov, you can see up here, you can go to advanced search, geographies, address. We can punch this in. And if Fact Finder finds a match, it doesn't always. So again, if you get stuck with something, let us know. But we can see census tract 21 is the right tract. So I think we're pretty safe on knowing what tract this location is in, and it looks like, and again, looks like a reasonable TEA can be constructed from that. So again, that's kind of a general some tips and tricks on using the map. As always, feel free to let us know if you have any questions at all about TEAs or economic job studies as well, and feel free to let us know, and we're happy to help. Thank you.